everybody, it's Piper, and today we have a really special guest. His name is Hans Vroeg, and he is a sailor. He teaches sailing. He sailed his whole life, and he's going to teach us 3 really important knots that he's learned through sailing. But we can use these knots when tying our shoelaces, when walking our dog and we're needing a leash, or when camping. You can really use them all the time. He's going to show us how to make 3 different knots, all of varying uses, and he is going to teach my good friend Ellen how to do these knots, and then you guys can learn them as well. There is a string in your activity box that is for this purpose. If you don't have an activity box, you can find a shoelace, you can find any sort of string to learn these knots. So I hope you learn a lot and have a lot of fun with it.
Hi, my name is Hans Vroeg, and I'm here to teach you today about knots.
And I'm Ellen. You guys might remember me from past videos, and he's going to teach me how to do them.
So the reason why I know knots is because I'm a sailor, and when you sail, you need to know 3 knots. So I'm going to teach you 3 knots today. These are the 3 most important knots you can learn. The first knot is called a figure 8 knot. This knot, what it looks like is you take your rope and you make a figure 8 out of it, and then you take the end of the rope and you put it through the top loop, and it should look like a figure 8. So another way to think about it is you make a loop, you strangle the alien, and you punch the alien through the face.
That's a good way. Does the bottom rope, where is your loop rope? Is it on top or is it below?
For this one, doesn't matter.
Okay.
You just have to wrap it once and punch the alien through the face. And the reason why you have this knot is if you need a rope to go through a hole and end and stop, this is the knot that's going to stop it, right? So let's say there's a hole through a piece of wood and you want to have the rope stop at the end, you go like that. Or maybe you put like a hole through like a tire to tie around a tree, right? This is the knot you'd put at the end. It's called a stopper knot. The reason why you do this knot, figure 8, over an overhand knot is because an overhand knot, once you tighten it, an overhand knot is just that, just a regular pretzel knot. Once you tighten it, you can't untie it. With a figure 8 knot, you can go really tight with it, and you can still break it pretty easily. That's the figure 8 knot.
Okay, cool.
The second knot I'll teach you is called the square knot. The square knot is used when you want to tie 2 pieces together, or if you want to make a big circle out of your rope. Alright, so this one is a little bit more complicated, but not as complicated as the third one. What you do is you take your left rope, you put it behind your right rope, and you flip it through like that. Then you take your right rope.
Was that your left rope before?
It was your left rope before. And you take your right rope, you put it behind your left rope, and you flip it through like that. Now, if you have never seen this knot before, just know that if you were to have these 2 be loops, right, like that, it would be a shoelace knot. So, you know how a shoelace knot ties 2 ropes together so that it stays on your foot? This is the same basic knot, just without loops.
Oh, okay.
So I'll show you one more time. You take your left rope, it goes behind, flip it through, right?
Yeah.
Then you take your right rope, it goes behind, flip it through.
So both times it goes behind.
Both times behind both times, or behind both times, and then also you want to make sure that you start on the left and then move to the right.
Okay.
And if you really look closely, it's actually the same rope that does the action. So you go behind, this is the rope that does the action, flip it through. That rope that just did the action is now on the other side. And if you go behind, flip it through, that same end of the rope did the action. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I've messed it up before. What have I done wrong? What made it
So the way that you mess it up is either you go across and you flip through, and then you do the same side, not the same rope, but the same side. So it'd be like left behind, and then you tried left again and went behind,
Oh, okay.
and then you make this rope called a granny knot. And the reason why it's called a granny knot is because only grannies make those knots.
Okay.
You see how it kind of looks like an ugly knot?
Yeah.
The difference between a granny knot and a square knot, even though it's almost the same, is a square knot looks pretty and creates a little square, and a granny knot doesn't look pretty, doesn't make a square. And you see the difference? And if you pull on these two of the granny knot, it slips, and if you pull on those two of the square knot, it doesn't slip.
Okay. So keep in mind that you go left to right and you utilize the same end of the rope both times.
Mm-hmm. And it goes behind both times.
Behind.
Because behind, if I went in front and tried that, see? Another
Yeah.
granny knot. So anyway, the first knot we did was the figure 8 knot. That's where you make a loop, you strangle the alien, you punch it through the face. That's the easiest knot to learn. The second, and that's if you want to stop at the end of a rope. The second knot that we learned was a square knot, left behind right, right behind left. And this is to tie two things together like your shoelaces. The third knot is if you want to make a loop at the end of a rope. Now this is useful because let's say you want to tie your dog's leash to a tree and you got like a big long leash, then you can use this knot to tie the dog to the tree. So this is really important. You have the rope lay across your fingers like this.
Mm-hmm.
You take your hand and you put it thumbs down, and you pinch in the center right here. You flip forward, and this is really, really important because you want to have the rope that's going down on top and the rope that's going out and away on the bottom of
Okay.
this cross. Then you're going to pinch this cross right here,
Like this.
just like that. This is going to go up, around, and back down.
Where does it go back down?
It goes back down the same hole that you went up. If you need some help with it, you can also tie it around something. Right? So this is a little bit different, but
So
pretty much the same.
up.
So you're making the loop here, if you see that.
Oh, okay.
And so the rope that's going off the top of your hands, that would be attached to like your dog or something, and this is the tree that you're tying around.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that that's below, and you go up, around this end right here,
Yep.
and then back down in that hole that you made. The idea being that you can tie anything around a post
Did I
and
do
it
that
won't
wrong?
go anywhere. If you need help, like the alien getting punched in the face, a way you can think about it is this is a hole right here, this is the tree right there, and this is your rabbit. And the rabbit goes out of the hole, around the tree, then the rabbit sees a fox and has to hide back in its hole. The way that you know that this is done correctly is it kind of looks like an old-fashioned life jacket, you know, like the orange ones. And this is the neck, and this is the life jacket bit, and this is the part around the waist. And that is how you do bowling.
Okay, so up the hole, around the tree, and back in the hole right here.
Mm-hmm. Nice job. And if you get frustrated doing this one, don't worry about it. It's definitely the most complicated. Nice job. Most complicated of the 3 knots that I show you. And typically it involves a little bit of technique correction. Bowling is this one. Figure 8 is this one. And a square knot is that one? So that's a square knot. It looks like a square. It's a figure 8 knot. It looks like a figure 8. This is a bowline. Oh, I dropped it. This is a bowline.
Cool. I
Those are the 3 knots.
Awesome.
It's the triune.
Wow, that was so awesome. I can't wait to practice those knots and use them when I'm camping or when I'm walking a dog. It sounds really awesome. Thanks, Hans, for coming and joining us. I hope you guys had a lot of fun today. Have a good day. Bye.